Chapter 5. Over Niagara Falls in a Barrel. It was a crazy idea, going over Niagara Falls in a barrel. But when Annie Edson Taylor heard someone had tried and failed, she decided to try it herself. Actually, no one had tried it. A man named Carlisle Graham claimed he went over the falls in a barrel, but it wasn't true. Carlisle Graham had ridden inside a very large handmade barrel through the Whirlpool Rapids on the river below the falls. Graham rode through the rapids 4 times. On his 5th ride, he told everyone he would start at the top and go over the falls. But he didn't. Annie Edson Taylor read about Graham's daring stunts and got an idea. She decided that she would do what no man had done before. If she could survive going over Niagara Falls in a barrel, she would be famous. People would pay to meet her and hear her talk about her amazing, dangerous trick. Annie's plan was even crazier because she was a chubby, 63-year-old woman. She had been a school teacher and then a ballroom dancing teacher for much of her life. Now her husband was dead. She was broke and alone. She needed money. The first thing Annie did was find her someone to build her a barrel. She designed it herself. She added holes for air and straps on the inside so she could hold on. The finished barrel was 4.5 feet high. Annie named it the Queen of the Mist. It had a heavy iron weight attached to the bottom. The weight was supposed to keep the barrel stable in the water so it wouldn't flip over. Then, Annie hired someone to advertise her stunt so that crowds would come. She chose Frank Russell, a carnival man. In October 1901, Frank arrived in Niagara Falls. Frank put Annie's barrel on display in a hotel lobby to get people excited about her stunt. Then he told the newspapers all about Annie, although he lied about her age. Annie made Frank promise to say that she was only 42 years old. A few weeks later, on October 24th, Annie arrived at the small island in the river. It was about 1.5 miles above the edge of the falls. Photographers were standing by. They took pictures of the old woman in her long, dark dress and hat. Then they turned their backs so she could remove some of her clothes. Wearing only a short skirt and a blouse, black stockings, and some slippers, she climbed into the barrel on her hands and knees. Inside was a harness. It was sort of like a seat belt to keep Annie from bouncing around. She strapped herself in and added some pillows to protect her from the bumps. "So long, boys," Annie said. The barrel lid was screwed on tight. A bicycle pump pumped air in through 3 holes. After that, the holes were sealed with corks, and a boatman rowed the barrel out into the Niagara River. But as he reached the right spot, the boatman heard Annie tapping on the barrel from inside. "What is it?" he asked. "The barrel is leaking," Annie said. The boatman told her not to worry, and then he set the barrel, with Annie in it, loose. "Goodbye," Annie said softly as the Queen of the Mist headed toward the falls. Would Annie survive?